Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance here to talk about Ragna Crimson episode 13. And this was a fantastic episode, especially after taking like a 3 week break because been missing some dragon slaying action. If you've been following me up until now, you know that I'm covering the manga with the anime so that I can compare and contrast any differences. So I got one bit of information for you there. And before we do that, this episode was just so amazing. We got anime print the anime princess, the silverware princess. She's attacking a bunch of villagers. We got Ragna fighting Taratectra, and we got that other dragon, Altozora. He's just sitting out in the forest, just letting all of his pawns do all the attacking while he sits. He's just sitting there. He's preparing for some kind of battle. So can't wait to see that. Um, Lots of fun stuff. Let's talk about manga. A lot of reading in this one. This episode was so tightly condensed. It was 4 chapters, 25, 26, 27, 28. Holy crap, it was a lot of reading, but they pulled every little bit of information out of that and threw it right into the anime. It was a perfect one for one. It's like they didn't even miss anything. There only one difference that I caught, and that is when Slime was trying to wake up Ragna after Taratectra knocked him out. So the first time he was unconscious, Slime just sitting there bashing his head. Wake up. He's not waking up. All of a sudden, he does wake up. That whole little moment never happens in the manga. The only thing that happens is as soon as Shin comes and rescues him in a way, loses the duel, finds out that Shin is, a little bit more reliable than Ragna is at the moment. So he jumps on Shin's head and then he's ready to uh, start pursuing Tectra again because that's the whole goal. We got to take down this superior dragon so that we can just finish killing them all off. So that was the only difference. Just other than that, it is perfect, dude. I'm so surprised. There was, like I said, there's a lot of reading, but they followed it so perfectly. So we got a bunch of the villagers attacking the silverware princess, and that scene to open up this episode was kind of really funny because it was so like gory in a way that I wasn't expecting it. These villagers are walking in asking for help, and all of a sudden they're kind of got this zombie esque about them because they're being manipulated. And Silverware Princess is like, nope, f that. Throws a giant blade at them and just completely murks that first child. I think it was the child that she completely explodes with a sword. That I laughed. I thought that was kind of funny because I didn't expect it. So that was entertaining enough. Um, so we kind of already talked about the Ragnar versus Tetra fight. Really, the only other pull that we take from that is the big attacks that they used on each other. So we had Ragnar using his dragon hunting flash versus Tetra's roaring quake cannon. And that was really just putting a bunch of energy into a sword slash and putting a bunch of energy behind like an explosive throwing punch. And that punch that blast that came out of Tetra was consumed so much energy that it like took away his arm. And it was really nice in the manga because in the anime it was happening so fast, you really didn't pay attention to too much. But in the manga, you can see that Tetra takes one of his arms and then it like splits into like three separate pieces, and then that's the cannon. So I thought that was pretty cool. Uh, Ultimately, we know what happened. Tetra's like, if your sword was stronger, be, he was saying that his energy was too much for his sword to handle, and if his sword could handle it, Tetra would have been the one on the ground instead of him. So I thought that was very interesting. He totally admitted that Ragnar was stronger than him. Just he didn't have the equipment ready for him at this time. So interesting that he's like that. They also tried to talk about his power scale, that he was like a human for so long, so it took him so long to get to this power level that he's at, and it was confusing. So I'm not even going to talk about it. They talked about it for a quick second. They talked about it for a quick second in the manga as well. Didn't make too much sense. It just took him like 20 years in this dragon form in order for him to be so powerful. The only other thing to take away from Tetra is that his attack power is so high but his like magic power is so low. So he really, really focuses more on physical strength than he does on I don't know, magic. So that's interesting. I guess the only other part that I took from this episode was I guess I was a little happy to see that we learned a little bit about those twins, those annoying twin sisters. Really, it was just interesting enough to know that their eyes can see very well. They can pick up heat signatures, and they have the ability to count their enemies like instantly. That's why they knew there was thousands of dragons and whatnot. And then their voices can reach like a bow and arrow, so they can throw their voice and be crystal clear to someone in the distance. So they are interesting. I want to know more about them because they still appear to have dragon eyes. So I think there's still something special about them that we have yet to find out. I'd like to see that. Um, Crimson, still want to see him. We haven't seen much action out of him, especially because he dies and he comes back to life instantly in another form. So I want to see some Crimson action. I don't know when because all I know is that we're gonna pursue Taratectra with Shin and Ragna and Slime, leading the way. So that's gonna be easy enough to answer. And then I would assume that the Silverware Princess is gonna chase after Altazora sitting in the forest. So that's what's to expect next. Don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I am very, very happy to see what's going to happen next. I can't wait. And I hope you guys are anxious as well. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Thanks for watching another episode, and we'll catch you guys next week.